Today we're going to be making some smoked herring. We're going to put this in a pot with cold water, cover it, and we're going to just bring it to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, we're going to turn the water off. We're not trying to boil this for a long time. Just once it comes up to a boil, we're going to turn the water off. So we have some tomatoes, some onions, and a little bit of Scotch bonnet pepper. My children does not like pepper. We're also going to use black pepper and vinegar. That's all that we're going to put in this smoked herring. That's all you need. When the water begins to boil, you turn it off. We're done right here. We're going to pour off some of this water, and we're going to save back maybe about a cup, depending on how much sauce you want in yours. But that's the water we're going to add back to it. We're not going to add any additional salt, and we want to retain the flavor of the smoked herring. So that's why we're going to use the water that we boiled it in. Our fish is boiled. Now, my kids are particular. The bones are small in smoked herring. So if you're not about that bony life, this is not a meal for you. And you see these? I just use my knife and I pull out these extra bones. I'm going to do all of these fish right here off camera. Just pull out the rest of these little bones here. Just like that. I mean, once you eat it with the dumpling, it's really not too much. It doesn't even really bother you. To be honest, I never choked on one of these bones. Ah, there goes those puppies. And so I'm going to do the rest of these off camera, and when I come back, we're going to be putting this all together. So we're going to put this all together now. I don't like oil. I'm going to always say that. So I'm going to add, this is maybe like 3 tablespoons of oil. I don't like greasy food. I cannot do greasy foods. I believe that it gives me pimples and it sits on my chest. You just burp it all day. 3 tablespoons of oil is enough to get this going. You hear that? That sound, that's my oil. We're going to cook up the onions and the Scotch bonnet pepper. This is like the quickest breakfast dish, dinner dish, lunch dish. In Jamaica, we eat heavy for breakfast. What you guys consider dinner, we might consider breakfast. What you guys think, what Americans consider breakfast, we might look at that as a snack. We're going to saute this up. I'm not trying to get it translucent. I'm just trying to get the perfume onion smell to escape. When you start smelling that, we're going to add the tomatoes. We're going to cook this down a little. Cook this down for maybe like another 4 minutes. So we've been here for 5 minutes now. The sauce reduced. Tomatoes got it all nice and thick. And this is done. We're gonna serve this with some boiled cornmeal dumpling. So for our dumpling, we're gonna need some flour. Personally, I prefer all-purpose flour. But since I'm making my mom's smoked herring recipe, I have to make whole wheat dumpling because, you know, whole wheat dumpling is her thing. I like cornmeal in my dumpling. So we add some cornmeal and some salt. That's it. And since I'm not a big fan of whole wheat, I'm gonna cheat and put some all-purpose in it. You know, it's kind of like halfway there. We're gonna mix this up. And we're gonna add some water. You can knock yourself out and stick your hand in this if you like. I don't like my hand getting all messed up with flour. So I make my dumplings with a spoon. Watch the magic work. Watch the magic work. Now, when it gets to this stage, I can totally understand using your hand to knead, but to start from that beginning process, no. Where you're washing your hand off in the flour, digging it back off. I had a problem with that. It makes me feel like I'm eating people's hand crud, you know, hand skin. Alright, so. Or I could have took the really lazy way and put this in the KitchenAid and let it do the work for me. But sometimes you gotta use what God gave you. Right? So now we have our dough. Knead and go, knead and go. Spin, turn, spin. Basically folding the dough over on itself. That's all you're doing. And now you guys know how to make spoon dumpling. Knead and go, knead and go. This is done. We have our pot over here boiling with some hot water and some salt. I'm gonna let this sit for a little bit till that water comes to a roaring boil. Then we're gonna form shape the dough and make those dumplings. When I'm shaping my dough, I break off like this. I don't make cartwheels. You just roll it in your hand. Ball, press. That's it. She's sexy, right? Just keep doing this over and over. Drop it in the pot. Roaring boil. We're gonna drop our dumplings in the pot. Camera's getting kind of smoky. We're gonna boil this for about 30 minutes. The dumplings will start to float. But again, this is flour. It has cornmeal, it has wheat. You want everything in it to cook. So I would do it for at least a half. Just stir them. Don't crush them. And leave them to boil. And there you have it. Our smoked herring with boiled dumplings, the way my mommy makes it for me. Also added some boiled green bananas. Can be also served with sweet potatoes, any kind of ground provision. We usually have boiled ripe plantain, boiled green plantains, yam, dasheen, a lot. Any ground food will go perfect with this. Also fried dumpling. Hope you enjoy my recipe. Don't forget
to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below.
Thank you, Jayla.
Yes, Sharika Flavor Fusion, your food are the champion. Welcome to a beautiful place called Flavor Fusion. It's a place where you can relax and have fun with ones and ones. With Caribbean dish, Caribbean spices for everyone. Tell you the truth, me no want the food for done. Me nah lie. Electronic payment by Zelle and even cash app. Sharika Flavor Fusion kitchen at the hot spot. Anytime me day in New York, an hungry bite me have to take a one stop. What? Flavor Fusion, why your food have is so nice? You make the people them have to circle back twice. They pay part in the food, but it nice. My lord, my lord, my lord. Give me a little carrot juice with piece of ice. And if you have a piece of pear, give me a slice. Why your food have is so nice? My lord, my lord.